I've been a hypocrite and coming clean about the heartbreak I've been experiencing. What is up, winning team? And sorry, I sound a bit ill because guess what? As if it wasn't bad enough that I've just been in hospital and I've now been working on my blood pressure. Now, on top of that, I've got a sore throat, I've got a blocked nose, I'm feeling drowsy, I'm on my period. And on top of that, I accidentally burned myself between these two fingers yesterday. I don't know if you can tell, because I made soup that was just really hot and I used a cup I don't normally use to put it in, and then it like burnt my hand. And yeah, so your girl is like falling apart, but and I realized that one thing I need to do is I need to practice what I preach, and in some way I'm not practicing what I preach, and that is by guys, I've said a few times that the reason why I believe a lot of men die of heart issues, right, is because they store things on the inside and they don't express them and release them. And when we store things, they don't go away, they still affect us. Hence why I've said to you guys, I know that that's part of, I'm realizing that I'm being a hypocrite by me just like trying to avoid certain topics and coming online and just being so happy to do a Bible series and a book series and a this series. It's kind of, if I'm being completely honest with myself, sometimes I feel like I'm supposed to talk about something else, like what's going on in me personally, and I don't, because I'm like, I don't want to have to talk. Obviously, this is the place I would talk. The only place I would talk, but I don't want to have to share. And mainly because I just feel like, I don't know, I'm going to try really hard anyways in this video to talk to you guys about something that I have been really experiencing in like the deepest way this year that I just haven't spoken about with anyone. And that is my feelings of heartbreak. Like, I've been feeling heartbroken and I've been feeling like my heart is so broken. So yes, this is going to be another one of those videos, and I don't know, in my head I'm like, no one cares, but obviously, the Lord was brought to my attention that, like, I feel like God let all this stuff in the hospital and stuff happen to be like, you just need to actually start talking about some of this stuff out loud with, not just only with me, to help you to get better. And and that's why I've been saying, like, I'm a hypocrite, and also for others, because as I've said to you guys before, and the bloating, I forgot to mention, the period pains. So I'm just not in any good state. As I mentioned to you guys before, well, where was I about to go? What was I about to say, you guys? I'm so sorry. Sorry, I made a tea with ginger and turmeric and honey. See, I'm going to the pharmacy of the Lord to help me with all of this. And hence why I made soup yesterday, which then burnt me. But anyway, it didn't make me feel better. So, where do we start? Yeah, I've been feeling severe heartbreak, I'm not going to lie to you guys, this year. It's something I haven't really talked about because I kind of feel embarrassed, in all honesty. Oh yeah, I feel like it's important for me to talk about these things because I know there's a lot of people suffering in silence. And I told myself that, like, one of the things I wanted to do in humbling myself is that I wanted to be vulnerable and saying what I'm going through and just be honest with everyone, because I feel like pride a lot of times sets into people's lives because you kind of build up this persona of this performance of who you present yourself to the world to be, that you get to hide behind. And like, the longer you do that, the harder it is to get out of it. So I was like, let me just really start opening up more and more and more, sharing the good, the bad, the ugly, like with you guys, because then there's no room for pride in my life, because I've got no way to be prideful because I'm a mess. And everybody's can see it. Everyone's part of the journey, seeing how much of a mess I actually am. So I'm grateful for that. But what all started all of this morning was actually, and what confirmed, I felt like was confirmation I should make this video. I went on my phone and I went to click on a message and I accidentally clicked on the wrong notification. It was actually the notification of the daily Bible verse on the Bible app, which was this, because I was already thinking, like, as I was waking up, I'm going to make a video about being brokenhearted. I feel like that's the next thing after the video I made yesterday. I feel like if I'm going to be on this train of like kind of addressing my emotions and like the deeper things that I've been going through that I haven't been talking about, then the next thing we need to talk about is the heartbreak, right? Because that's the next most painful thing. So, this was the verse. It was Psalm 34:18, which again, written by David. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. And honestly, I have to say, like, as the morning has begun, it already has shown that. Because like some of the things I was worried about yesterday, I was like, I'm just going to give myself the day off and just trust God. And like literally this morning, I woke up to some messages that kind of confirmed that certain things were organized. I was able to like sort out some of the things that were actually stressing me out, like this morning. So I'm really glad, like, and again, it's like God was already had all these things in the works. He already had the timing. He already knew that like when it would be the right time. And so I believe, that he really is. And also it was just a reminder of like what I say to you guys, that like, going back to David, and you think about, we've been going through the David series. And when I started out with it, I know I sound like I'm going to cry constantly, because I am. So that's why I don't like to talk about my emotions at all, because all I do is cry, Anyway, so we've been talking about David, and we've been talking about, and also today is my brother's birthday. He's going to be 16, my youngest brother, and I've watched his whole life. And like just seeing him at this age, it reminds me of when I was 16, like, watching him in general. The last 4 years or so, like getting to be around him, because obviously when I was in London, I was quite far and I didn't really come back often towards the end. At first, I used to come every weekend. But in the last few years, where I was there, I didn't used to come almost at all. But to have watched him, like, because when I would have moved back to this town, he was 12. So that was the age I was when he was born. So watching him and knowing like all the responsibilities I had at his age and how adult I had to think at his age has been traumatizing. Because I'm looking at him constantly. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's just a kid. Like, he's just a kid. And he's so pure and innocent and naive. And I love that. I kind of love it. That's why, again, I love being around kids, because they're just pure and innocent and naive and like simple life. Like, things are just very simple, So him turning 16 for me is bittersweet, like, because I'm happy for him that he's getting older. And, he can have more, I don't know. I'm happy for him he's getting older, because then the older he gets, the more he can see the world for what it really is. I know that sounds horrible, but I feel like it's necessary for all of us. But also, it's bitter, because like I don't want him to have to lose his youth, because like for me, the last time I felt like my true self, I was hopeful, I was excited, I wanted to be a dance teacher, I wanted to be married with 9 kids when I was 16. I was saving myself for marriage. I was like, oh my gosh, I was just this girl who I used to dress every single day. My swag would be on point. Jordans looking crisp, outfit looking crisp, hair did, nails did, makeup. I used to look fire. And I've been trying to find whatever that was that existed when I was at 16. And I truly feel like just coming to the knowledge of a lot of stuff and also going through a lot of things beat the hell out of me. So now I'm here at 28 trying to get back to like some kind of care. And like, I don't even have the energy, like I've said to you guys, to even look after myself, to even care about a lot of those things now. I just don't even have the energy to care. You know what I mean? Like that 16-year-old me would not recognize so much of how I am now, but also part of 16-year-old me would be so proud of me to like become the strong person that I am, But anyway, and at that age I was working, I was doing this, I was doing so much, going to the gym 6 days a week in the morning before school, getting up at 6 to go to the gym, working 3 days a week, whatever, studying full-time maths, chemistry, further maths, biology, like going to Bible study as well during the week, and was at church, you know, all the time. Oh my gosh, it was just a lot. But it was actually the best time of my life, to be fair. It was actually the best time of my life. It was the time I felt the most like in control, and like I could make my dreams happen, and like all I had to do was just lock in, you know, and that's what I did. So it's kind of bittersweet, like I said, because I'm just really worried for him, because I'm like, I really hope, my biggest hope for my brothers is just that I hope they do not have to suffer like I have at all. I hope they just, you know, find good people in their lives, good friends. I pray for them to find good friends. I pray that whenever is appropriate for them, they find a good woman, a good community of people that love them for who they are, and like who appreciate them and who value them and who would never take advantage of them. So, you know, that's my prayer. But yeah, so this whole scripture by David, you know, just made me think like how, and that's why I was like, God, you know what, now that I've seen that scripture, I'm definitely going to make this video. Sorry, my videos are disjointed, but this is what it's like when I'm talking about my emotions, okay? And I was just like, you know, first of all, just the fact that I saw this verse, I was like, thank you, Lord, for like confirming, because, you know, God, he really steps in to confirm, like, when I'm like really going through things, I'm really at the edge of myself and I'm really questioning if what I'm doing I should be doing. He really does find a way to just let me know, like, this is exactly it. Yeah, you're right. Like, make the video. And the funny thing was, last night when I was asleep, because I've actually been sleeping, obviously, because I'm not in the freaking hospital. And it's not the middle of summer where it's just too hot for me to sleep properly. I had a dream last night. I had so many dreams. And again, I hate dreaming. It just exhausts me. I find my dreams exhausting. Anyway, one of the dreams that I had, you know, it was one of these devil intimidation dreams that I get. And it's always like the same thing of somebody finding me, pulling up to me and basically being like, I heard something that you did. And then like trying to beat me up or whatever, so aggressively, right? And I know it's an intimidation tactic of the devil to silence my voice. That's the crazy part. So once I had that dream, and I was like, woke up and I didn't even feel scared this time, because I've known it, because it always happens the days I plan on filming certain videos. Like today I planned on filming a whole bunch of videos, and of course it would be that on today I would get that dream, because you better shut up, you better not go say all these things you're about to say, this being one of them. And I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video. Then I saw this Bible verse, so I was just like, yep, we're doing it, we're here. And so, you know, and then also just thinking about the fact that it's David, you know, because I've been wondering, like, I've been knowing that I want to go back to the David series, the series in Samuel, in second, that we started in First Samuel, now in Second Samuel, and we're just before David's about to become king. Like in the chapter that we're gonna read next, he does become king, and I did actually record that like a week or two ago. But then I just didn't feel right, you know what I mean? And now I kind of feel like, because the Lord sent me a psalm today, I feel like now is the right time, like, to continue with that. I really do. And so I'm so grateful, basically. I'm so grateful for the Lord for that. But also, like, just actually thinking about David and how much he must have experienced all this heartbreak as well. Like, because when I think about my heart being broken, again, I hate the world and how the world kind of always attaches certain topics to certain people, because like I've said to you guys before, I feel like anytime I talk about my traumas and what I've been through and the mistakes I've made, it's like the relationship I was in is always the romantic relationship I was in is always the target. But actually it was probably the most healthiest thing that ever happened to me, because even then, that was the last time I ever remember sleeping. That was the last time I ever remember feeling like somebody was actually listening to me. You know what I mean? The heartbreak that I feel is actually from all the relationships of my friends and family. And like, as I've been thinking, like the past friends and family relationships I've had, and like, as I've been thinking about it throughout the year, and I think about just different things and what I went through with different people and all of this, I've been just going through this consistent heartbreak throughout the year, because at the time, obviously, I was just feeling like, oh, I'm the problem and like everybody's better off without me. So like when I experience all the things I've experienced, I've kind of just been like, well, you know what, I'm getting what I deserve. So I'm glad for everyone that they can be safe, far away from me. You know what I mean? That was what I was thinking at first. But like this year, I've started to realize that like actually in a lot of these scenarios, these people were actually in the wrong. These people are actually in the wrong. And as soon as that hit me, which you guys know that all started last year, sorry, my eyelashes are really bothering me. And I'm just not even a mascara girly anymore. So I'm putting some Vaseline on them in the hopes that they stay up, because this is gonna get annoying. But yeah, so like now realizing and like having, and it took a lot. It took God really, really convincing me. Like I remember because it was really hard for me to just accept I'm not the problem in everything, and that maybe I've actually been done wrong in some aspects as well. It's taken a lot of convincing from the Lord, like of being like, you know, like the way that I talk to myself. He's like, you would never talk to anybody else that way. So why do you talk to yourself that way? You know, you would never be that harsh on somebody for like their actions. So why are you being so harsh on yourself? And like, yeah. And this is the other thing with the kids. Cause like when I think about, you know, I sit here calling myself a dumb, stupid idiot at 16. It's like, he's like, would you ever call your brother a dumb, stupid idiot? You would never speak to your brother as a 16-year-old or any other 16-year-old like that, or 15-year-old or 12-year-old or 11-year-old. Because I do, and I have always thought of myself as a dumb, stupid idiot. And I do. Trusting the wrong people. So throughout this year, like as God has been, unfortunately for me, focusing a lot on me, when I'm like, let's talk about the world and bring everything down. He's like, yeah, but I need to make sure what's going on with you though. And I appreciate God for that, because I appreciate that he cares about me more than I care about myself. And I think really most people care other than you guys, you know, because he's like, he's the one making the effort to be like, no, it's important that we actually spend time, you know, for you specifically, you know. So that's a really new concept that makes me highly uncomfortable. So yeah, I've been experiencing just the heartbreak like one after another, because it's all hitting me now. And again, I keep joking about the prefrontal lobe, but I do think a part of it is that as well, where it's like now that I'm an adult and I can like really take the time to address things and see them for what they are, it's like, wow, there's a lot of instances I've been blaming myself for, because before it was fine. It was like, I'll keep myself away from everyone, like I said, and they're better off without me. But now I'm kind of looking at it and I'm realizing that actually a lot of people did me wrong. Like, to be honest, throughout the years, actually, a lot of people wasted my effort. A lot of people took advantage. A lot of people did a lot of things. People that I cared about, people that I put my heart and soul into, like, because that's what I do. Like, if you know me, like anybody that knows me knows that like once you get around me, I'm invested in your journey. Like I'm invested here in your journey for your future. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just natural for me. I feel like that's just how you love people. And again, even this verse, 1 John 3:18, I had been so gaslit for so freaking long about people's standards of love and people telling me, oh, they love you, I love you, I love you, but your love doesn't produce anything. And I just believed that was okay. And I remember after the last ever time I tried to take my life, this was the first verse I saw, just like how I first saw this verse today. And it was confirmation, because I never remember reading it. Little children, let us love not just in word, but in deed and in truth. And that was the confirmation I needed like that day to know I'm not the crazy one. But then like ever since then, and it's been years, ever since then, you know, I've been having to like basically unpack that, like, whoa. So if this is like God's standard of love, like I'm experiencing the love of God, right? And I'm realizing that I was just taking, again, just whatever kind of love from a lot of people. Meanwhile, they were getting whatever, all the love that I had to give. And I was loving at 110%. You know, I never like to talk about this stuff because I hate being the person that makes them sound like, oh my gosh, I'm like so caring and loving. That's why you don't ever hear me call myself an empath or any of these things, because I don't think I'm better than anyone. I'm just telling you guys the truth of what I did. And at a certain point, I just have to be honest. I love people, and I love people hard, and I love people with a force. I will forcefully love you. Do you know what I'm saying? I will look at you. I will look after you. I will pray for you. I will pay attention to you. I will observe you. Whatever I can do, I will do it for you, because that is love. That doesn't hurt me. That makes me happy. It makes me happy to love people. It makes me happy to see people thriving. It makes me so happy to see people encouraged, built up, moving forward into whatever they have to do, doing all of this. It makes me actually happy. When people ask me what makes me happy, it's actually seeing other people happy. And that's not me denying my own happiness. That's just how I am. I have a lot of skills. I have a lot of things that I like to do. The things that I enjoy are the things that help others. I like to throw parties. People like to be a part of parties. I like to cook. People like to eat. I like to listen. People need somebody that will listen to them. I like to get to know people. People like to feel valued and like somebody cares about them. I find everybody fascinating. I find everybody's life fascinating. This is why I love YouTube and social media, because there's people from all over the world, all walks of life, all statuses, all genders, nationalities, jobs, and I love it. I get to know everybody on the internet. It's not like one group of people I watch online, or one niche, or one whatever. I care about what everybody's doing. You know what I mean? I care about everybody, and I love it. I absolutely love it, because to me, what I love is, and I feel like this is the most healthiest thing, to be honest. I love seeing everybody win. I don't want to be at the top by myself. It's lonely being at the top by yourself. It's very lonely. You know what I mean? Anyways, it's so much fun when you're at the top and you're just killing it, and you look left and you look right, and all the people you care about are right there with you. You know what I mean? So this is where my heartbreak comes from. And this is why I'm so obsessed with the Sidemen, because I'm like, wow, these are 7 guys, right, who became friends, right? They locked in on this group, and they've been through so many different things. They've been through so many different seasons together. But the one thing that they did is they stuck with each other, and they all wanted to see each other win. And that never changed. And that's why you have the likes of the Mr. Beasts of it all trying to release all these products, and he's failing. But you have the Sidemen, because of what they've created and how we're all invested in the friendship, you know, that are releasing products like every other month, or doing all these different things, and we're all locked in on what they're doing. The biggest, they've even said their most successful series is them playing Among Us, because the thing about them that is so attractive is their relationships and how solid they are, and knowing how far they've come, and how, you know, KSI used to bully Vic a little bit, but then now KSI's kind of changed and treats Vic so well, and now KSI's going to Tomorrowland where Vic is playing, you know, on one of them, I think it was on one of the main stages at Tomorrowland Festival, and he's there supporting him, and we're all cheering on. And I remember the first moment I actually bawled my eyes out at a Simon video, and it was like they did a pub golf, right? And basically a pub golf, for those who don't know, is you go around to different pubs, right? And then each pub, there's a drink that you're going to have, and there's a rule about that drink. And the par of the pub golf is like you have to finish your drink in a certain amount of time. So, for example, the first pub they go to, the par could be 3, and they have to drink a pint. So they have to drink the pint in 3 sips, right? But then the special rule of that pub is that you have to drink only with your left hand. You know what I'm saying? And then the next pub, they'll have to have a glass of wine, and it's par 2. And the special rule at that pub is that they have to get somebody else to feed the drink to them. You know what I mean? A stranger or something. And then anyways, they were doing this in Benidorm, and they got to one of the last places. I think it was a pub golf. Yeah, it was a pub golf. They get to the last place, right? And they've all dressed up, because they all do these things like dressing in stupid costumes and all this. And again, their humility with each other to like be men in their literal 30s. Some of them are pushing 40 and not take themselves seriously. I respect so much, like, because I can't see that in others. And because I feel like it's because they have that humility, and also because they're willing to do it together. That's also what makes them so successful and so much fun to watch. But anyway, so they get to this last hole, and they're at a karaoke bar, And I think, I don't know how, but KSI ends up on stage singing. I don't know if it was part of the challenge or whatever. Anyway, so he gets on stage, and does he even get on stage? Yeah, he does get on stage, and he starts kind of jokingly singing his song Holiday, which is a beautiful song. If you are going to listen to, if you guys don't get KSI, go and listen to the song Holiday. It is beautiful. I almost want to play it right now, and it literally makes me cry every time because of this moment. And this will talk about how this woman is his holiday, and it's just, oh my gosh, like, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, so he starts to sing Holiday on stage, and then all the boys joined in, and they know all the lyrics to his song Holiday. And I was just like, this is actual friendship. Like, this is people who want to see you win. Like, every single one of his songs, even if, like, when he had Thick of It that came out that everybody was making fun of him for, the boys will make fun of him. You know what I mean? Then they'll make fun of each other. You know what I mean? But they're there for each other, you know? They took in Harry under their wing, unlike the rest of the world, or like the experiences I have, like when you're going through a tough time and people make you feel worse and people outsource where you should go and get help. Like, people were worried about Harry and the people he was hanging around. So that's how he ended up being one of the sidemen, is because they basically took him in like their baby brother that they needed to monitor. And he is chaotic. He is the chaotic one. I love Harry though. You know what I mean? And that was the group that he needed. You know, you go through the whole group and you just see like they all just make such a good team, but they all want to see each other win. And because they all want to see each other win, like you have Josh, he's like the big brother. He was the one who, and they've all said if he didn't get their finances together, they wouldn't be where they are today. And he makes me laugh now because he does very much play the big brother role where he's like, I don't really care for anybody to have, like, he doesn't care what people think as much as some of the others, right? So say like somebody like Ethan cares a lot about what people think about him. Josh doesn't really care. He's very much the best at a lot of things, but he tends to just, you know, take a bit of a backseat and just make sure that everything's running smoothly and make sure that the other boys are having a good time. And they're just such a wholesome group. And I'm just like, this is what winning looks like. And the reason they're all so successful, they all have their side brands that they do. KSI's off with Logan Paul doing Prime. Simon Miniminter has his charities and his businesses stuff he does. You know, Toby has his clothing line. Vic now is a DJ and also has a sunglasses line. Like, they all have all these things that they do outside of the group, and they all support it. You know what I mean? They all support everything. When they have their events, you'll have all of their different products will be there. You'll have in their setups, all the other boys will have Prime in the back of their video and be drinking Prime, you know what I mean, on camera to support what they're doing, even though it's not necessarily a Sidemen brand. Like, they are such a good team and they all want to see each other win. And because they've done that consistently for like over a decade, that's why they're so successful. So when I talk about my heartbreak, part of my heartbreak is like, why I'm here is just because like other people genuinely just couldn't have the same mentality because they were so plagued with something else. And like the fact that I tried so hard and I was so ready to push for this in so many areas and we're not there, right? And then at the on top of that, all of my efforts went to nothing. I have nothing to show for it. And then the same very people, a lot of them wanted to rise up as enemies, wanted to talk about me like I was the enemy, like I wasn't the one literally fighting for everybody to win. Like I wasn't the one with the faith for everyone. And I realized that I believe in everybody more than they believe in themselves. I've known that. And it's one of the greatest skills that I have. It's one of the greatest gifts, because sometimes you need somebody that believes in you more than you believe in yourself. And that's the thing that I've only experienced from God, because my whole entire life, and I'm looking at it now back in all these relationships I've been in with all these different people I've known, and I'm realizing how it was always them I'm telling them how they can do this and they can do that. They're second guessing me. They're trying to get me to step down a peg. They're telling me how I can't. I can't tell you how many things I was told I can't do. You can never do this. You will never be successful at that. You will never. Do you know how many times I heard that? At the same time with people I was putting time into and success. I think about this especially when I was like, in the years of my teens, is when it hit the most. In my teenage years, I would be speaking, like I was even talking about in my previous video, like I would be speaking to people. I'd be speaking life to them, to my friend. Like, I think you'll be one of the best singers I know. Like, I think you could be successful one day, truly, whatever. But when I told her I wanted to go to the Olympics to play basketball, she was like, that's unrealistic. Excuse me? Like, these are the little things I'm now picking up on. Like that are instilling this heartbreak that I now feel, because I'm like, why was it that I was always just pushing? And this is why I don't see the point in forming relationships, because I feel like, and this is the truth, and it's not going to sound nice, everybody else seems to gain so much more than I gain. People seem to gain loads. Like, I've seen people, come into my life, and then, they go through the experience of me believing in them and whatever, encouraging them. And then they go off and they are successful. And like I've said, I don't mind that. I said that yesterday. I don't mind that because I'm just happy to see them win, right? But how often does the reverse happen? You know what I'm saying? And when it does happen, it hits hard and it changes me forever. So, for example, I'll give you guys a perfect example of like this man called Kofi, who runs a business. It's called Urban MBA. So basically, it's like the business school, but like the street version of it, but not like the street version, but like not the academic version. And let me tell you, I promise you that 10-week thing is better than any freaking thing that any university is offering in terms of business, because that's where I learned. He told us, this was into 2019, he told us that you guys need to, whatever business you're doing, prepare for the AI that's coming. Like, he was so ahead. Like, everything he said was going to happen was true. He explained so much, and here's the reason I decided to read the whole Bible, because he explained how our subconscious mind is always taking in everything, whether we realize it or not. So we have to be aware. Like, who talks about that type of stuff in a business course? That's what I'm saying. Kofi is the real MVP. And he's another person who has seen me on my worst day and is always just like, listen, your family. He literally said that to me. Your family, you always have a place here. Next time you're available, please come by. Please come by. Like, I asked him the other day, I wanted to know if he was going to be at a certain event, a certain premiere. And he was like, oh, no, I haven't heard about whatever that is. Do we need to be involved? Like, so ready. This is a man whose mentor is Arsene Wenger. This is a man who works with the biggest brands and they hire him, and who's doing all this, who believed in me. He's the reason. He was the one who was like, you need to put your face on YouTube, like on the internet. You need to be the face of your brand. If not for him, you guys wouldn't be seeing my face right now. If not for him, I wouldn't have read the whole Bible. And this is what I mean again when I'm like, when God does something, it like outdoes the world, because the world and the experiences I had and where I should have got support, I didn't have it. And then God will send in someone like him, one of the best. I've got I've got part of this whole course, which I didn't have to pay for, because it's all based on if they vibe with your vibe and if they think that you're a good fit. So I have lifelong mentoring with them forever, for the rest of my life. I can have mentoring with them. So that's why, like, even now, if I really wanted to, if I was trying to go and live back in London, I could just go to his office and be like, hey, can I get a job? And I probably would get one. Just like that. Or he'll be like, let's book you in. Oh, you're not, because he was the one, again, the same one who wanted to book me where? London freaking Fashion Week. Now, albeit where we disagreed very much, as his spiritual views are very opposite to mine. But then I also understand, because with his success, and I get this again, and this is again when my heart breaks for the body of Christ, it's like we're not a force to be reckoned with. Like, so many of the successful people I've seen who are winners are not Christian. That's the problem. Winning and Christianity isn't working together. And that's why I'm breaking my back and like fighting for my life and holding on to my faith to try and do that. So like for someone like him, I can kind of get why, because the funny thing was, when we were there, most of us turned out to be Christian. We would all pray before the sessions and everything. It was kind of funny how it figured out. But then you can also get it, because it's like, yeah, I get it, with how the body of Christ is and with what Christianity looks like and what he's been able to achieve without. It's like, well, right now the world has achieved more without God than we have as believers achieved with God. Because if we were to actually, in order for us to show that God is who he says he is, we have to do greater than the world, so that we can prove he's the Most High. Hence why God did what he did in Moses and the 10 plagues. At the beginning, Pharaoh's like, what? I've got magicians. Send your magician. I've got magicians. Moses was even written down in the world's history as a magician. We've got magicians. I've got a magician, right? But then as the plagues go on, God has to keep leveling up to the point where now Pharaoh's magicians can't do anything. And now he does something that Pharaoh's magicians definitely can't do. Like, oh, really? Let's end your bloodline. All the firstborn sons of Egypt, gone. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, if we don't become the powerful force that is the evidence that God is greater than any other gods of the world, then what are we going to do? So that's why, you guys, anyways, so like that's just what I've been going through and been thinking about all year, like all these times where I'm like now realizing, now that I'm like self-loving, you know what I mean, rather than self-hatred, like I'm now realizing there's so many times where in the same breath of a relationship that I had, friendship or family, I'm believing, like I remember one time there was a situation with my family where somebody was just looked at me, literally says to me, I don't know how you do it. Like to one of the things that I did. It was an event, one of my events. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know how I do it? You should know me better than a lot of people. Are you really surprised that I was able to pull this off? And this isn't even close. Like I haven't even achieved close to what I'm capable of in this life, you guys. I'm not even achieved close. Not even close. That's why I'm like, God, if you really want to go all out guns blazing, and if we really want to, because that's where my head is at now, like with all of this stuff and with how I'm feeling, I'm like, honestly, I'm at the point where my retaliation is going to be to obliterate everyone and show everybody how wrong they were and obliterate them so they get to be speechless. Yeah, and then I guess what? And I'll tell you another thing. I don't care what anybody has to say. I'm not going to be here like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for acknowledging me now. No, screw off. Screw off. I've already planned how, when I have my concerts, right? When I have my events, I've already planned the system that I'm going to give my security guards a whole book or a whole like iPad with all the faces and names and whatevers of the people that are not allowed in no matter what. If they pay $1 billion, I don't care. I don't care if they bought a ticket, their ticket is revoked. You don't get to be a part of this. That's how I feel now. That's how I feel. And that's not me being unforgiving. That's me appreciating and protecting my safe space because I've had to create one for myself, by myself, because of you people. So why am I now going to go and let the freaking snakes back in the garden? Just for you to switch up and what? No. This is what called boundaries are for. So guess what? Yeah. So this is what I've been thinking because I'm like, God, like as all this stuff is happening, on the one hand, I'm in a heartbreak. On the one hand, I'm stressed. On the other hand, I'm like, God, let's just freaking show off at this point because I've been accused of that anyway. Anytime I ever succeed, even though people didn't believe I was capable of doing it, right? Oh my gosh, you're so self-centered. You're so attention-seeking. You're so arrogant. You're so lucky. You're so lucky. I'm so lucky. I've never told somebody they're so lucky because I acknowledge their hard work. I get so annoyed. The sidemen do the same thing of being like, we're so lucky to be here. No, the freak you're not. You've been uploading videos every day for over a decade. You were doing it when people were ridiculing you, and you've done it despite the fact that people still ridicule you, tell you all these things about yourself to take your own life and all this on the internet, things that most people could never handle a single crumb of. You have taken risks that other people don't have the bollocks to take. So I refuse for them to be called lucky. It's easy to show up to a job. I'm going to say it. It's easy to show up to a job with somebody telling you what to do. You know what's not easy? Being the responsible one for something actually happening. Yeah, so sorry, no, they're not lucky. So many people are not lucky. They worked hard. This was like me. When I would be doing sports or whatever, people would be like, oh, you're so lucky today. I'm training. When I got down to having abs, I've said this story before, I was going to the gym 6 days a week in the morning before school. I would do 45 minutes on the treadmill, 45 minutes on the cross trainer. Then sometimes I would still go on the Stairmaster on top of that. And I would do these insane sets, right, where I'd pick for each muscle group, abs, arms, ass, 3 different exercises, and I would do them back to back in sets of 25. So I'd do like 25, 25, 25 of each. And then I would do it 5 times for each set of my body. And then sometimes if I still had energy left, I would do my whole workout all over again. And then I would eat throughout the day, so disciplined. So disciplined. I would only eat 1,000 calories during the day. And then the only main meal I would eat would be, and this is while I'm at school, right? And then when I'm at home, I would just eat dinner, whatever it was. I would just have whatever it was. That's what I was doing. And I did it consistently. I was waking up as a teenager, going to the gym before. Me. You know what I'm saying? Even the same thing with my degree. I worked for it. I was told I was lucky to have a degree by one of these people. You're so lucky to have your degree. Lucky. I want to see anybody who's called me lucky for having my degree complete a chemistry degree, accredited by the Royal Society of Chemistry. I want to see how you fare when you still have to work and you still have to do all these other things and you have to study because you're supposed to spend double the amount of time you're in lectures studying. Right? I want to see you complete all the competencies. I want to see you write a lab report once a week. I want to see you do exams on top of coursework, on top of lab reports, on top of competencies, on top of controlled experiments, on top of everything else, on top of a whole research paper that you have to do in your own time. I want to see that because this is where I'm at now. Because I'm like, I've had to dig deep, and this is where my heartbreak comes from. I've had to dig deep to find it within myself and only with God to succeed in the ways I've succeeded. And I've still beaten people. And those same people were the people I was giving all my energy of support and love to end up with nothing and no one. It is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. So that's why I'm like, what's the freaking point? And then to still be the one on the critique with the microscope, with the magnifying glass. And other people don't realize how lucky they were. You've had your degree paid for you. You've had this done for you. You've had this person make that decision for you. You had a whole support system. Every time I'm coming up against just even the voices of people telling me that I can't do it alone, let alone everything else. And then once I succeed anyways, oh, I'm lucky. Yeah, my heart is broken, you guys. My heart is broken. Like, I just don't care. Like, I know I obviously do care. But like I'm saying now, I no longer care. Because before, I would kind of shy back. Because I could see that people be uncomfortable from me being myself. Screw all of that. Screw all of that. Screw all of that. But on a very serious note, my heart has been broken and shattered. Absolutely shattered, realizing that like, oh, there are so many times I have jumped in the ring on somebody else's behalf. I've prayed for them for days on end, for hours. I've given up things myself, my time, my resources, my money being the one I regret the most. Because if I had just saved all the money that I've ever given out to others, right, I would have the money I need to do the things I want to do right now. That's the sad thing, right? The money, the time, the resources, the use of my gifts and talents, like the hours I spent helping others. If I'd spent helping myself, I would already have been in my winning season at like 24. But here I was trying to be a lover. Here I was trying to be a part of the community. Here I was trying to play my part. Here I was trying to love people the way that people deserve to be loved. And for that, that's why, to be honest, I'll say at least from that standpoint, I don't have any regrets from that part. From that part, I don't. Because if I die today, like if I die, this is one of the reasons. I think I'm not just like out here wanting to die for nothing. It's also like I've lived my life for doing my best for people and by people. And that doesn't mean I've done it well all the time. I've been a problem, as I've said, whatever. But I feel like I'm in a season where it's like, you know what? We've talked enough about what I've done wrong throughout the last 28 years. Maybe we can like put that to the side for a second. Because that's what we've been doing. That's why I'm not talking about it that much. That's all we've been doing is what I've done wrong and how I'm wrong and what's wrong with me and how I'm the wrong thing. So maybe we should just talk about something else for a little bit, if that's okay. Maybe somebody else can take some accountability, because I think about that. I apologize frequently. And it's so rare for me to hear an apology from anyone for anything. And that's the ticket I've decided, that for anybody from the past or whatever who wants to be in my life, listen, There's only one ticket in, and that is called, it'll be accountability and an apologies. If you don't apologize, I'm not going to do this worldly thing of, oh, well, you changed behavior and you changed overnight, but you didn't acknowledge, because that means you still have a spirit of pride. And I don't need to be having people around me for that spirit of pride to contaminate me. You need to humble yourself and apologize. And then in that point, and I'm still going to love everybody at a distance. Listen, the people that I care about, the people that I've loved, I will always love and care about them as much as I can, just from a distance. That's why I'm like, God, make me rich so I can just have like a bank account and put all these people's names, set up direct debits and just send them money monthly. And then that can be it. Look, that's my contribution to your life. You're sorted over there. Stay over there. Well, I get to be over here with the winning team, the people that actually appreciate me and the people who actually care about me and the people who are actually there for me when I needed people and the people that actually value me and love me for who I am. Because that's the other thing, is that everybody loves you when you're on top. Everybody loved me when I was on top. As soon as I wasn't, there was no one. And I was like, wow. So I was thinking that, when we're all there for each other, when we need somebody. But no, when you needed somebody, I was there. When you needed somebody to talk to, when you needed somebody to vent to, when you needed somebody to help with this or help with that, I was there. But now that I need help, you're not there. None of you are there. None of you. So I'm like, cool. I've message received, because that's what's going to happen. Oh, I'm all up again. I'm all in the promised land, all in the garden experience. And then it's going to be, oh, it's been so long since we've had a conversation. I've been really wanting to get in touch for a while. Of course you freaking do. You always do. All of you always freaking do. As soon as I'm on top. So I actually thank the Lord for these seasons that I've been through, because he revealed to me. And I told God as well. I said, God, please. A request I made to him a couple of years ago. I was like, God, before I blow up the way I'm going to in this world, and I succeed and I become the ultimate winner of all time, before we get there, please place all the people that you want to have close to me in my life before that. Because I know that everyone's going to want to be my best friend in the future when God ultimately does what he's going to do. So I was like, God, place all the people, all the good people that you want in my life, place them there before, so that I know who really was there for real and who's worth being there when everything goes crazy. And the rest of them, love you at arm's length. Listen, the fact I even pray for you and I pray for your salvation and I pray that the Lord would help you and I pray that the Lord you would choose your purpose. I'm already loving you far more than you ever loved me. So there you go, guys. That's how I really feel. I'm getting all my real feelings off my chest today. That's kind of the theme, as you can see. But yeah, I do have other videos I'm going to record because I made a whole list, but I've just decided I'm going to normalize these videos where I'm just going to tell you guys my real and raw emotions and how I've been feeling. Because I realize I'm being a hypocrite, and maybe part of the reason I am struggling with my blood pressure and a lot of stuff is I'm holding things in, and it gets to a point where it's look, I might not think that it's nice for people to hear what I'm saying, but the thing is, it's just the truth. And so what are we going to do? Am I going to just keep holding it in because it's not nice to say out loud, or am I going to just say to everybody the truth of what I feel like is happening? So anyways, you guys, I'm going to leave that there. And again, this is why I relate to David. He's gone through all these things, all these heartbreaks. He's lost his best friend because of stupid Saul. He's lost, he never had the close relationship with his siblings. He was always the one off with the sheep alone, just him and God. I honestly relate to David. And no wonder he's written so many scriptures and so many psalms where he's just in despair and he's in sadness. And people are like, you see, it's normal. It's okay, Christians. But you see, it's normal for us as Christians to go through some things. But it's like, you're saying that in theory, but you're talking about going through some things. It's like being annoyed by your colleague who always, forgets to put the milk back in the fridge at work. David was going through real things. Some people are going through real stuff. No offense, but sometimes when I hear the little things that bother people, I'm like, you're weak. Sometimes when I hear the little things that people get bothered about or are stressed about, I'm like, wow, you're weak. If that is enough to take you out and make you feel like it's the end of the world, some of us must be freaking titans in the flipping spiritual world, because that's pathetic. That's so weak, and I hate weakness. And it's because I've had to become so strong. So now, no, I don't feel the need to have to lower myself, because I like it here. I like that I'm in the strong category. And for that, that's why I'm saying that, you know, as winners, we always have the last laugh, because, hey, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy to have lived the life I live. If it means I'm going to be this strong, I'm going to be this powerful, I'm going to be this good at winning, I'm going to have this many muscles to get myself to the top. I don't need anybody to kiss my butt or to be there for me or to coddle me for me to freaking win. And now I'm doing the work with the Lord, and now I'm putting my faith to the test even more than ever. And when I tell you guys, you have no idea what God is going to do in my life. You can't even imagine it, because I took that scripture that God said that God will do exceeding and abundantly above anything you can ask or think. So I ask and think things that you guys would think are impossible. Because I'm like, he's going to have to do it, because that's what his word says. And God is not a man that he should lie. And his promises are yes and amen. Exactly. So that's how that turned out. But yeah, guys, I have been going through heartbreak. So I go through the moments of like where I just feel powerful and ready to take on the kingdom of darkness. Then I go through like the deep despair of just realizing like my life has truly been a tragedy, you know, and it's just amazing that I'm here. And again, despite all these things I'm telling you, haven't been the one going around being a horrible person to be around. I'm still the life of the party. I'm still fun to be around. People are still crying of laughter when they're around me. People are still enjoying my presence. They're addicted. Like, people are addicted to being around me. I understand. I've got an addictive energy. It's true. You know what I'm saying? But because despite all of this, I haven't let all those things be an excuse like some of these other people. I haven't let the things I've been through be an excuse for being horrible or being jealous or being bitter or walking in pride or whatever. I haven't let it be an excuse. So for the most part, part of the reason people don't ever believe that I'm going through the things I am is because I'm too happy, and that's abnormal. Because in the world, whatever, as soon as you go through stuff, you're entitled to take out your anger on whoever you want, right? But as a godly person, the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, faithfulness, long-suffering, you know, all of these things. So, yeah, I might be going through it. My body might be trying to give out. I might have all this pain and all these issues. I might be facing up against all these demons. But the Spirit of the living God dwells within me. And the evidence of that is that I don't look like what I've been through. And on that note, if life's a game, let's play to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you guys here so freaking dearly. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here for me. Like, thank you. I cannot thank you guys enough for being my people. Like, you guys are my people. And I promise you, because of how much you guys have done for me, I am going to make your dedication to being a part of the winning team, I'm going to make it worth it. You guys keep me going. You guys give me the reason to keep pushing forth, because I'm like, these people are here. These people have been here through so many parts of me. These people have seen the worst of me. They don't even know me personally. They haven't experienced all the benefits so many others have. And yet they've been here for me like no other, like no one else ever has other than the Lord. So I'm so grateful for you guys, and I'm going to make it worth it, just so you know, because winning is for everybody. And when I'm around, me and my people, we win together. I don't like to be at the top by myself. I don't want to be looked up to as this kind of icon while everybody else worships me. No. We rise together, we shine together, and we celebrate together at the top together. Okay, you guys? So anyways, God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.